Now, I haven't really heard anybody talk about this, but once you get that physique, once you get swole, you will most likely experience these three things. Y'all know the deal. It's basically BO, aka Cole Brown Official. We start number 3 and we go down to number 1. So number 3 is women will sexualize you. And I've told quite a few stories in the past on women being very sexual towards me, and even when it was unwanted. Low key, I've been sexually assaulted a couple of times. You know, I need to file for some charges. But I remember, dog, from the ages of 18 to 21, I was working a lot of fast food jobs. And, you know, they follow you into the freezer. Cole, you ever been with an older woman? What you think about older women? I done told a story about Chick-fil-A. This older lady, she was telling me she had kids my age. You know, once they found my Instagram, they started treating me completely different. You know, because the shirt at work was kind of big on me, so they didn't see the muscle. But once they seen that Instagram account, dog, they started acting completely different. You know, like I said, it was a guy, he was low-key kind of sus. And he was like showing everybody my Instagram. And once they seen the Instagram, dog, they always saying sexual stuff to me. This older lady whispering in my ear. I'm making a breakfast burrito. She's like, oh, you got girth like that? You know, just out the pocket shit. Other women there like, oh, Cole, you got any videos? Just asking the craziest stuff. The lady that got a kid older than me, she offered me money to sleep with her. She like, Cole, I'll give you $60 and I'll pay for the Marriott hotel. I'm just like, Shawty, you couldn't pay me enough, dog. You know, now some dudes like, man, I would have took that down. But it's like, she was pretty busted, if I'm being honest with you guys. Like, her teeth was just, woo wee boy. Her teeth was something different, something special, you know, but not as special in a good way. But man, especially older women, they would definitely sexualize you. And you would think like the older you get, your sex drive starts dropping, because that's kind of how it is for men. But for women, it's the complete opposite, dog. These chicks be 40, 50 years old, freaked out. Now, you won't see that side of a lot of these women unless you on Body Game. You know, she talking to you, she start rubbing on your back. Oh, you work out, don't you? These older women a lot of times be freaked out. So if you like cougars, getting on Body Game is gonna be, it's truly gonna be game changing if you like them cougars. So that's number 3, dog. People start to sexualize you a lot more. And even a lot of the younger chicks, dog, they think you're gonna be a demon in the bedroom. They think you're gonna blow their socks off, even if you're not. Just when they see the physique, they gonna think that you're gonna put in work in that bedroom. Because I'll tell you this right now, I done disappointed some women in the past. Now, nowadays, I tend to blow socks off. But there was times in the past where it's like, I done left some chicks disappointed, you know? But just the way I look, just off the physique, they thought I was gonna do a great job. You know, so that's definitely real too, man. So once you get that physique together, once you get swole, they're gonna start thinking that you really putting work in that bedroom. Now, you want to, but hey, sometimes you don't show up. Sometimes it gets like that. Going on to point number 2 is elevated status. And I remember one time I had a guy say, Cole, actually getting on Body Game, getting your physique together, that's not high status, because that shows you have a lot of free time. And I said, dude, you know nothing what you're talking about. You don't even have to work out that much to get a good physique. You can spend 20, 30 minutes a day, 5, 6 times a week and get a pretty good physique. Or a lot of guys I've talked to, they only hit the gym 3, 4 times a week. You know, so it doesn't take as much time as a lot of people think. And when you look at the super wealthy people, the vast majority of them eat extremely clean. You know, even, I forget the name of the show, but they got like a YouTube show where they go to celebrities' houses and look at their fridge. Man, probably 95% of the time, the fridge is filled up with a whole bunch of healthy organic stuff, dog. The richest of the rich eat very healthy, dog. They're not eating all the bullshit low-class people are eating. They're not eating hog maws and chitlins and, you know, pork skins. They're not eating shit like that, dog. A lot of these people with a lot of money, they eat pretty healthy. You know, now you got guys like Rick Ross and DJ Khaled that eat like shit asses. But the vast majority of these people that really got money, dog, they're not just eating bullshit left and right. They eating the top class stuff, man. So this whole idea that, oh, it's low class to work out. No, it's high class. You know, a lot of these very wealthy people, they have trainers. They take their health very seriously. They take their diet very seriously. They take the training very seriously because they know how important health is. Man, you'd be a damn fool to be making money your whole focus for your whole life and then you neglect your health, you know? But definitely people would think highly of you. People would think you're more disciplined than what you are. I think you're more likely to get jobs and people give you more opportunities just when you're in shape. Because I promise you, I remember even last job I had, there was a bigger guy that came after me, obese guy, and like all of us were surprised. You know, them first couple days, he came in there, he was working, he was sweating. You know, bro showed up in some jeans. You could see the sweat through the jeans, like just some big nasty type shit. And everybody was surprised because like we already had this idea that he was gonna be a lazy piece of shit. You know, just because we see his body, just because we see his physique. And I think for me, it was probably the opposite, dog. They seen the physique, they thought I was gonna do a great job. And then it's like, I was running this YouTube channel on the side, so I was taking longer to get back to work and stuff. But I didn't really care about the job. You know, I tried to do my best job, but at the same time, when they hardly giving you pay raises and, you know, they kind of screwing you over, you gotta start making a plan to get out of there. And that's what I did. You know, that's when I really built the YouTube channel, when I took on this last job that I had. But I'm saying, just off their physique, people make judgment off your physique. So just because this guy was obese, he had a lot more to prove than me. You know, they was gonna give me more leeway because they see I'm in shape. They're like, oh, he's gonna do a good job. While he's fighting an uphill battle because they're looking at him, oh, he's fat. You know, he's gonna be on some bullshit. So as soon as he slips up one day, they're like, man, I knew he was gonna be a piece of shit. Just because his body, you know? And I would get more leeway. So realize it elevates your status. People are gonna think highly of you, and people are gonna give you more leeway. People are going to give you more opportunity when you get your physique together, when you get swole. And last but not least, number one is intimidation factor. This is probably one of the most annoying things you deal with when you get swole, when you get on body game. You always hear, oh, the muscles ain't gonna stop a bullet. And it's like, dog, what are you talking about? People be saying the goofiest shit out the blue, but a lot of guys will be intimidated. And that's why you get a lot more passive type attention, but you don't get upfront disrespected. You know, if I've seen people just get disrespected to their face, like that's never happened to me. You know, I think people show a lot more respect. You know, they might talk shit on the back end, but up front, people aren't going to disrespect you when you have a body that truly looks like you train and take your life seriously. You know, now the guys that slack off and built like a shit ass, like people aren't gonna just mark on you all the time. People aren't gonna show you the same level of respect. But there's definitely an intimidation factor, you know, and like I said, that part can kind of get annoying because I can't tell you how many times guys be like, oh, you're not bulletproof, you know? It's like, bro, I never said I was bulletproof. Ain't nobody bulletproof, you know? And they'll just bring that type of shit up at the most random times, you know? Because they feel some type of way. They feel intimidated. They feel inferior. You know, when you got the muscles, when you got the body together, they feel inferior. Because that's how a lot of people are, dog. Once they see someone doing something, it makes them reflect on what they're doing. And if you taking down a whole bunch of junk food, drinking soda every day, and then you see someone who really on their shit, you're gonna be like, damn, bro. So the default is like, oh, but he's still not bulletproof, you know? So that's the 3, man. Number 3 was you get more sexualized attention. Number 2 was elevated status. And last but not least is intimidation factor. People will get intimidated by you. And like I said, it's kind of downside. That shit can get annoying sometimes, but hey man, once you get swole, you will most likely experience those 3 things. That's all I got for y'all today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch y'all boys in the next one. Damn.